Shut this music off. Riaz, what's good? What's good, brother? Shut this music. Riaz, what's good, bro? Riaz, what's good, bro? What's good? What's good? What's good? Good morning. Hazy, what's going on, family? What's good? What's good? What's good? Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Morning here. We're gonna talk about Tupac's godmother story. We're gonna get into this, y'all, because man, shout out to y'all, shout out to y'all for, you know what I mean, for being up in here so early still. I appreciate y'all. I mean, appreciate y'all. Y'all already know, but yeah. We're gonna get into this, Tupac story, because you already know she was on the run. Hiding in Cuba. I'm gonna get into it. Hold on, y'all. I'm just trying to figure out who else is in Cuba hiding. But we're gonna get into the story, y'all. We're gonna get into it. Shout out to everybody. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday morning. We're gonna get into this story here. I hope everyone is as well. Yeah, man. But man, we're gonna get into this. Give me a sec. Shout out to everybody this morning, and how they is doing. But yeah, this is of a topic of discussion. One of the legends, one of them women that got away from all the the fuckery that they was trying to put on her and lock her up with. She got away with it. We're gonna get into that story, y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Please comment, share, subscribe. In the building this morning, y'all. What's going on, bro? Morning. Yeah, but we're gonna get into this. This is one of them stories right here where hey, Jilla, what's going on, bro? Shout out to you on the family. Shout out to you, Miss Jilla. What's up? What's good? I had to touch the story, yo. I had to touch the story. Shout out to y'all, Jilla. Shout out to you and the kids. You already know. Much respect, bro. Jen, I gave you that already. Right? You don't need to take anymore. Just grab the plate and go, man. Thank you, please. Thank you. But yeah, this is one of them stories, yo. You're like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like, damn. She was all the way down there all along hiding. But I wonder. I gotta put you on something. Okay, Jill, I got you. Yeah. So does that mean Pac is down there hiding? I don't know. We're gonna get into this. I don't want to get into that whole Tupac hiding in Cuba yet. Let me just get a couple of this things going and get into this story, because this story is very, very as you know, remember when Trump came in the first time, he asked for them to get an arrest warrant for her. You know what I mean? A whole lot of shit. So we gonna get into this story here. Give me a second. This is one of them stories here. You're like, yo, like, damn. Like, shoot, but man, it is. You're hiding from the American and the federal government for years. It's crazy. Crazy. Can't lie. So you're hiding from the federal government, right? Y'all hit the like button for me, y'all. So let me get into the story. Let me get into the story real quick. Oh my God, to do this like this. Okay, Jilla, I see you. So let me get in to this thing right here. So she, right, Shakur girl, I think she was a godmother, and what do you call it? You know, I guess what's her name gave her the name. Tupac's godmother gave her the name Shakur. I'm announcing her real name just now. Her real name. So they said she's a fugitive. She's a fugitive, right? That so her name is Joanne Chesmard. Her name is Joanne Chesmard. Her real name is Joanne Chesmard. Chesmard. So Assata, we all know is, a part of the Assata Shakur, we all know is a part of the Black Panther family. Left, the Black Panther Party, break her out of jail to, actually, well, let's get back to what happened. So Assata was pulled over at traffic stop for a broken tail light or headlight. She was told to put her hands up, and then as she put her hands up, the police shot her. She turned around, they shot her in the back. Right, I guess she shot the officers in self-defense. They took her to jail, and they locked her up. But she wasn't. But before this, she was on so many charges. Murder charges, whatever, all this conspiracy stuff. And she beat these charges. Remember, this was in the 70s, y'all. 70s, not even 80s, and she beating charges like this. Imagine a black woman beating those charges. But this, they was fucking with her, trying to put criminal charges on her and all them things. But so back to the whole, she died. She died. Assata died. In Cuba, hiding from the FBI. The whole federal government, because they said she unalive a law enforcement police officer. I don't know how true that is, but she was Tupac's godmother. Uh, but I remember when Trump came in, he wanted them to go get her in Cuba, and they're like, no, we can't. We have no jurisdiction to go down there and get her. So, as I said, this lady here really, really like kept herself to herself, like quiet, hide, like never really too came out there. She only gave some interviews. She wasn't really into the cloud, or let me go over here, go do the story with this person. She was. And I guess that's how you stay alive. That's how you stay alive in this. You know, um, that's how you stay alive when you're on the run. You can't be up in the public eye, giving out information, tweets, taking photos, selfies, and all that. Kind of like, I give her mad respect for that. I give her so much respect for, like, not made it all the way to the end, and they never caught her. She died on her own. I respect that, Jungle. I respect that. The feds she never really gave in. She never really, yeah, godmother, yeah. She Tupac Shakur godmother. Yeah, she never really um, you know, gave like Some people are on the run and they give all these interviews and they invite all these. That's why El Chapo got caught because he invite. That's why El Chapo got caught because he invite that dude to come do his story, right? And when he went down there in Mexico to do the story with that one dude, this that one dude that guy ain't never been on TV shows no more. The one that did the interview with El Chapo, he ain't never been. That Caucasian blonde dude ain't never been in no more movies ever that. You know what I mean? The FBI paid him good for that. I'm telling you, they paid him good money for that. He never been in no more shows. He never been in no more shows after all that. After what he did to El Chapo. Got him the interview, got him to come to talk, and then that's all they know what dude was. Because they had when El Chapo was doing the interview, they had all the stuff around, like. So as I said, I give her props for not like getting what do you call it, getting caught and all the way to the end. You see what I'm saying? That or no, you can make a movie out of this woman. You know what I mean? You can make a movie out of her. And I don't want no Netflix, no, you know what I mean? None of them to make movies because they always do the stories. They always twist it up. Guys make the characters, you know what I mean, trying to like violate the characters, make them something they're not, and put something in the movie that it is not. Like, you know what I mean? I don't like that. I do not like that. You know what I mean? This lady right here is a real gentleman woman of what, knowing the code. You know what I mean? Real talk. She knew, you know what I mean, that there was gonna break her and she had to keep the code. Like she had to protect certain people. So she go stay away to protect her family and her peoples. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? With that said, I wonder if Tupac is in Cuba. Because if they was be able to move like that and got her out of, break her out of jail like that, that's some shit like, you know what I mean? That's some real move. That's some real like, you know what I'm saying? Like real G move. Get her out. You know what I mean? Move her there. She never came back here. Like stayed in it. Like they must have really cared about her, not to give her up, not to turn her over. You know what I mean? To the FBI or the police. She must have, been a real good. And I said, I guarantee there's a lot more people over there. Just, you know what I mean? Staying low. Staying low from this, this hiding. Because it got so much bullshit on them. Story is she ain't never she did that in self-defense because if you remember when they pulled over in the traffic stop, she got shot. You know what I mean? Twice. And she had her hand up. So that should be self-defense. Back then, it doesn't matter if you're, there's no such thing as self-defense when it comes to black people. I mean, thank God we have self-defense now, but even now, we could barely fight for self-defense. You know what I mean? It's what I'm saying. We could barely do all that. That's why we have the cameras. Because without the cameras, ain't nobody believe nothing. You know what I mean? Or it's coming from nobody. Everybody will believe what the police officer will say. But yeah, Shorty though, she a legend. Can't lie. She is a legend. One of them people that I say, yeah, and put on my list. I put on my list with Malcolm X and them. Martin Luther King. I know nothing about no Charlie Kirk. You see what I'm saying? Charlie Kirk couldn't hide like this. They'll find him. And they'll find dude. You know what I mean? Because why I say that? Because you always gotta be in front of the camera. You always gotta have a microphone in front of your hand. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, people that can't keep a microphone or the camera out of their face, they could never be on the run. They could never be on the run. So a lot of y'all come in here and try to be smart. But it's all good. As I said, I don't mind. I don't really feed into that stuff. But yeah, a lot of people can't keep especially when they're famous and they're legendary. You know what I mean? And they is I'm gonna say activist or influencer. They can't. That's why a lot of these influencers get caught like in a week later. They can't. Like none of them will ever be able to do what this lady did. Joanna, you know what I mean? Joanna, her real name. Um, as I said, these are definition of a woman of being a leader. I know a lot of us that women can't lead or whatever, but this is a definition of being a leader. You know what I mean? Real talk. You don't chase the cameras. You don't do nothing. I mean, your life is your life. If you have one life to live, once you give it up, you can't get it back. And I give her mad respect still for for going to Cuba and doing her thing, staying out of the public eye, not going too close to certain things, and not getting caught up into certain things. She could have been in, you know what I mean? She could have been in like love with one of them niggas that, you know what I'm saying, and then draw her in. No, but she stayed out of the way. Lady right here is a legend, dog. Real talk. I mean, and there's a lot of people. I know a lot of the government mad that they couldn't get her. You know what I mean? That she had to die because these people they like to torture people. Don't believe it's only the. I mean, these people they like to torture people for some reason. I don't know why. But they saying this girl is a fugitive. This girl ain't no fugitive, dog. So I'm saying you got so much people on this shit, but you got remember, and back then she was like the first woman on the FBI wanted list. Salute, Reyes. That's so Assata Shakur. You know what I mean? 1979? Yeah, 1979 they wanted this girl. 1979. You know what I mean? Assata Shakur, like, come on, yo. 1979. 1979. You are running. You are running. 1979. You are running. You know what I mean? Because you try to protect your own life. That's what I'm saying. Now, one of them they put a hit on her, and then when they went to get her, you know what I mean? She pulled. You know what I mean? Saying, "Yo, I ain't laying on like that. Y'all ain't gonna hit me in the back." And you see what I'm saying? No. But yeah, like as I said, if she's on the if she was on the to what 1979. I ain't seen no no KKK leaders on the list. None of the women leaders, none of that shit. You know what I mean? Y'all just have all these people riding around and then you know what I mean? Having them doing whatever they want, make you get out of hand. Then turn on y'all. Turn on y'all. Turn on y'all. Because, you know what I mean? Turn on y'all. Assata Shakur did not turn on us. She did not you know what I mean, made a eradicated group and said, you know what, all the people that was fucking with the Black Panther, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know what I mean, put a hit on all of them. These people that you guys allow to walk around in the streets and create the extreme groups, white supremacists and all that shit, and all this stuff, you know what I mean? They're the ones that are you guys' enemy, especially these rich elites, they become you guys' enemy. You know what I mean? Because they feel like, oh, you guys owe them something. You know what I mean? I don't know if, but yeah, Assata Shakur, she ain't never really, you know, um, make no, vendetta against her people. So yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, it's a truth, dog. Like, people in 1979, you on the run. 1979. 1979. That is a long time. 1979? Y'all know how long that is? That's a long time there. 1979 is a long time. So a lot of people can't even hide for like 3 to 5 years. They gotta be on the social media. They gotta be on the smartphone. They gotta be texting to somebody. They gotta be talking to somebody. This lady is still on the run. You know what I mean? For a while. 1979. And she never, not once, she got on social media, did a video, did a YouTube video, did reactions of whatever, talk about the FBI. None of that, because she already know them people control all this stuff. So why am I gonna go on here and, talk about, what, and that's what I'm trying to show you those, and y'all still believe, that Puff Daddy had something, Biggie had something to do with Tupac's death. Y'all don't see the answers in your, you know what I mean? If they wanted, if they wanted somebody so bad, and we all know, just like a gang member, if a gang member, you know what I mean, the mob, the bikers, whatever, you know what I mean, Nigerian mafia, whatever, you know what I mean, Jamaican gang, whatever, you know what I mean, whatever, any gang, you know what I mean, and they're looking for you, and they can't find you. We already know what they're going to do. They're going after the family, the closest person beside you, that's making money, that they think is building your, you know what I mean, that's supporting your group or supporting you. And I think that's why they got rid of Tupac, because they think, you know what I mean, Tupac was allegedly supporting this Black Panther by funding them with his, money what he's making in the rap. So this is why I think they got rid of him. I don't think what do you call it? I don't think uh Biggie had nothing to, I mean, Puff had nothing to do with his murder. That's just me. This right here is just showing you more and more, you know, it's just showing you that he ain't had nothing to do with Pac's murder. If you believe Keefe Davis, you know what I mean, did he have something to do with it? That's why people don't laugh with some, like, us black people, we laugh when we hear people like Puff Daddy trying to get charged for this man's murder. We know what it is. We know what it is. You know what I mean? Tupac was a Black Panther child. You know what I mean? That was, you know what I mean? Hear the stuff from home, put it in his music. Hear the stuff from Assata Shakur, his mom, all of them, and then put it in the song. And then, they was bothered by it. Let's be honest. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. That was going on. That had nothing to do with it. Yes, he was talking about them, Bad Boy and them, and Biggie and them, but you know what I mean? Um, that really don't have nothing to do why the whole Biggie beef and Bad Boy beef is not the reason why Tupac is not here. And if Tupac is not here right now, if Tupac is not unalive, he's not dead, he is definitely in Cuba also. I wouldn't doubt it. Think about it. This is why people say. This is why people always say. I always hear Caucasian content creators always coming up with this idea that Tupac is in Cuba. Who knows? That would be something. If we find out that Tupac is in Cuba, that would be that would be a big loss for the '90s of music. Of, what he could have done. Yeah, but this is why they locked up Suge. What's good? What's good? What's good? Yeah, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good with the good morning? You too much. Yeah, I'm just chilling, chilling. That's what I come. I'm break for real. But yeah. Um, man, this shit right here, it just shows you that all this Keefe Davis is all bullshit. You know what I mean? Assata Shakur is, a real one. As I said, escaping, capture, going to going to the going to Cuba and hiding, and not going on social media. Not posting nothing. So that is very militant. That is very militant. That is militant. That is militant. It's not like she start. And then y'all see not Black Panther lady that there's a next Black Panther lady that they say on the rise. I don't even think that shit is real. I think they did that because they knew that this girl was dead, and they did that because they wanted to pull that up because they know Assata Shakur was dead, and they have you seen the new They said there's a new Black Panther movement, and all of a sudden, right after that, a week later, when they said, "Oh, there's a new Black Panther movement," there's a lady, whatever, Assata Shakur. That to me is kind of weird. That was kind of weird. I don't know if y'all have been following up, and but I see everything, especially with Shakur. Like I'm a Tupac, you know, Tupac Shakur Zodiac sign. We got the same sign as a Gemini, so I really, 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 really get into this shit. Um, so I think it was kind of weird how they had the lady there. I don't know if y'all could look it up. Trolling everybody, jill everybody in the chat. If you guys still here, food stand, King Hazy, the new Black Panther movement that they had on thing. This was like a week ago. And then, we hear this that Assata died, by natural cause. 79 years old. Hey, yo, listen, y'all would feel good, that they never caught. You know what I mean? I feel good because, listen, let me show you something. We decided to start a group. This is why we got to go elsewhere. If we decided to win whatever, anywhere we want, because it's always going to be an upscale against us. It's always going to be up against us. You know what I mean? White supremacists got police friends. The Black Panther, they never had no police friends. Any black group that starts today is going to have to vocate from America and Canada. Any black group that really want to stand up for their stuff, any Puerto Rican, Mexican group is really going to have to start that shit back in their country. You can't start it in North America. You know what I mean? Because she showed you. Assata Shakur showed you. You know what I mean? Like, I could live this shit. Y'all don't want to survive. That's y'all still in the country. You know what I mean? She never went to Africa. She went to fucking thing and showing you like African people they sell slaves too. You see what I'm saying? They sell slaves too. They will take money to give you up. You see what I'm saying? They will take money to give you up. So we can't say, oh, you know what I mean? No, there's a reason why. woman never went back to Africa or even try to hide in Africa. You see what I'm saying? And maybe she was just a part of the Cuban government. You know what I mean? That joined the Black Panther. I don't know. Maybe, maybe you know. What's going on? What's going on, Tom Business? Shout out to you and Kita. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, bro. I know this is you guys' but all right, you know, R.I.P. to the one of the legends though, Tom Business. You know, Assata Shakur. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? But like I said, a real legend, you know. You know, as I said, people remember when Trump came in power in 2016. He wanted them to go get her. You know what I mean? And they're like, yo, we're not going in there to get her. Real talk. They're not going on there to get her. You know what I mean? So I'm telling you. So we right now, we could like I'm just trying to show you how our mindset is. And as a female to the exact, a female that could stay off social media. They say females like the cloud, like the this, you know, like to show off their beauty because she's not ugly. She, you know, what I mean, she's a beautiful woman. So I'm saying you could tell she had no makeup on her face. So I'm saying just natural, a natural, you know, a natural beauty queen. And you know, she just is straight. Just an example of, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of women, Caucasian women, too, also hiding from the government in Cuba. But this story right here, this lady been dodging the feds since 1979. What's it? 1979. And she got away with it. She got away. You could make a movie out of this. But I don't want no 50 Cent to make no movie. I don't want no Netflix to make no movie. You know what I mean? Because they going to make it look like she was locked up with a woman somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that shit. You know what I mean? That's what Black Panther stand for. Stand for family, you know, work hard woman and strong man. And she show you the definition of a strong woman all the way to the end. You know what I mean? She was not here selling her story. She wasn't telling you stories that, you know what I mean, that could trigger them to make them come on her. Like, you know what I mean? Real talk. Because if she was doing what Bin Laden was doing, they would have found her a long time. If she was playing with the internet, playing with the phone and the computers, they would have found her. You know what I'm saying? That's why they found Bin Laden. When he started fucking with the computers, when he started bringing them shit into his fucking hideout spots. You see what I'm saying? But this lady right here is a real one. You know what I mean? And we should put her in the book as Martin Luther King. A lot of people are gonna get mad at that, but this is me though. It's my opinion. This is my opinion. As I said, this is my opinion. I don't want nobody kind of, you know what I mean, bring and put points in my head. And I'm just saying, as a black woman, you know, we could even put her in the book with you know, the lady that they told to get the back of the bus. You see what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Yeah. This is the woman right here. I'm definitely gonna look around and see if I can get some photos of her. Like, you know, I got my Tupac, I got my Bob Marley. Yeah, I gotta get my photos of her to hang in my house though. You see what I'm saying? I gotta have her photo hanging somewhere in my house or somewhere, like, you know what I mean? I gotta teach my daughter about women like this. You know what I mean? Y'all teach our kids about Beyonce and all them shit, but I gotta teach my daughter about women like this. You know what I mean? You're pretty, you're beautiful, you know what I mean? And you use your mind and your smartness, not your body. And you know, showing cleavers like what they show you to do over here, because that's what they teach women, black women in North America. They use their body and their prettiness and cleaving, you know, how to seduce man and get man in trouble. You know what I mean? We're not doing that. We're not teaching the girls how to do that, especially to get their black brothers and sisters in trouble. It's not a thing I think we should be doing, you know. But this is a lady right here could say, yeah, you know, she should. be up on the Black History, talked about on the Black History board too. Like, you know what I mean? Real talk. It's a legend. This is a leader. We say a woman can't lead all the time, but what type of woman could lead? This is definitely a leader. If you have this woman telling you, yo, don't post anything, stay on social media, or I don't trust those cameras, I don't want to go over there, because she's intelligent. She don't need Google to tell her, oh, I use this, or let me find this, or let me spell this. Intelligent. You could look and just see it. Straight intelligence, straight high IQ. This lady has high IQ, high IQ. You know what I mean? And when we have women like these, we have them in the. We have women like them around, but we don't. Well, look like this, but we don't have women with their soul like her. We have women sitting in the politician, in the Republican, Democrat, look like just like her, with the same, African thing, whatever, look like her, but they're not as smart as her. You know what I mean? She don't need to pick up a smartphone to say, I'm gonna say this. I mean, she could say something and so like a 5-page, read out of her head without looking at a phone. This is the definition of a smart, intelligent Black woman. Not what you see what they put on Netflix. They'll put a smart Black woman on Netflix, but she gotta be some type of looking way. Like, she tough, she not soft, she not, you know what I mean? They try to make her look like a man. You know what I mean? No. They make a movie out of her, they're gonna make her look like they're gonna make her look like, tough, gangster like a man. Like you think it's a beautiful woman. If you see her old pictures, like she's always all them Black Panther women were beautiful. All of them. From Shakur mom, all of them. It was all intelligent, beautiful ladies. They're not was out there saying, oh, go here, let me get drunk and sleep with you. Let me go over here and get high and sleep with you. You know what I mean? Them type of women and them, it was only drinking once in a while. It was not the club every day. Once in a while. I'm gonna do this to celebrate, Shakur's mom or Tupac Shakur's mom or something like that. They probably drink like that. But she was so smart not to jump on the phone, not to jump on the smartphone, not to buy the latest smartphone, not to buy the latest smart laptop, to do some type of blog. And that's why everybody got caught. That's why these bikers get caught. That's why these mobsters get caught. Because they go and they think because they got the camera off like this. But you're gonna slip up. You're gonna slip up. Assata Shakur did not do that. He stayed on the low for that long. You could be locked up for that long and still, have 5-6 interviews where you on TV. People know about you. She ain't never did none of that. She ain't never did none of that. Not every interview was a good interview. You know what I'm saying? And she seemed like the type of lady where if the money was too high, she wouldn't take it. That's where the setup was. You know what I'm saying? She seemed like she was type of the lady if you was giving her like, she would do the cheap interview. Not the stuff that will go viral. You know what I mean? Like she did interviews with a person like me, like that don't get a lot of viral stuff. You know what I'm saying? To keep herself underneath the radar, which is smart. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people like, all right, I'm on the run. Like El Chapo, look what he did. He called the most biggest producer in the world documentary to do something on him, not knowing they was watching him. Like you invite the feds to your house, bro, because you was too like want to be too much. You want to be so famous so bad. He was already famous. You know what I mean? So you invited people and then that's how you got caught. That's how El Chapo got caught. Yeah, but this lady here, as I said, smart. You can see a straight, straight, smart woman. And she was doing her thing, as I said. How many women, how many men you seen on the run and got caught because they used the phone, went on social media and said something, or even did a YouTube blog or a YouTube video, or even popped in somebody's live. because they got 10,000 or 5,000 and they talking about their story. You know how much Tupac story so she probably watched. You know how much story she watched with lives, 10,000 of views, and watch them lie about the Black Panther family and watch them lie about how Shakur died and everything and who killed Pac. Because a lot of people that know the story will tell you, yo, Biggie had Puffy had nothing to do with it. Keefe Davis had nothing to do with it. Yo, Suge Knight said it too. I don't know what he was talking about. He was never in the car. Why do you think they got Suge Knight locked up? Because Suge Knight know them people, the government people. The same government people that was after Tupac's mom, his godmother, the whole gang, the whole, you know what I mean? Black Panther Party is the same motherfuckers who took Tupac off. You know what I mean? Because they felt like if they cut Tupac off, then the Black Panther Party will have no more funding. You see what I'm saying? There will be no more funding. And they, so that's why they got rid of him. That's why they got rid of him. It ain't no Puff or Diddy or Keefe Davis. No. 202 plus 2 is fucking 4 people. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, pay attention to this shit. Pay attention to this shit. This is gangster shit. Mafia shit. You know what I mean? JF Kennedy, mafia shit. Remember the mob who, like, you know what I mean? The mafia who took out JF Kennedy. Because he was working. Gotta remember Capone and the outfit mob got JF Kennedy in that position. You know what I mean? They got him in. That's why he was taken out, because, you know what I mean? If he would have got in, the Italians would have took over America. So now so they had to do that, because the Italians would have had America underneath their fingernail. So they had to get rid of JFK. Yeah. Just like they had to get rid of Assata Shakur. Tupac, the whole Shakur family was a threat to the United States of America, because we wasn't teaching girls to get on their knees and suck dick. We wasn't telling girls, they wasn't telling girls to take off their clothes and go over there and please this man. None of that shit was going on, because that's not what they was teaching. You know what I mean? It's like up today, I still live up to these women's standards. You know what I mean? Real talk. I'll pass a woman that's showing all this shit. And I'll talk to a woman in the tight skirt, the long skirt, the top that's covering everything, and with the earrings. You see what I'm saying? And just looking like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna rush to everything that everybody looks at. You know what I mean? That's everybody see that every day. But these women, even in the TV shows, this is why I don't want Netflix. We gotta stop them people from stop doing our shows, stop rewriting our history, and stop doing shows like this. Stop making it look like, yo, you know what I mean? The black communities like that, because you guys don't know. You guys make your own write up stories and made up stories. When y'all do these stories like Netflix, Star. I'm gonna say Netflix. I'm gonna point it on them. You know what I mean? And reason why I don't have nothing with that. Reason why I don't like Netflix, because Netflix makes America look bad. Every day they're creating a serial killer, and it always have to do with women. And none of these motherfuckers was on the FBI wanted list. They all got thing by police. Some of them. Why do we make movies of men torturing women and burning women and taking their body parts off? Why do we make movies like that? Do we not have respect for women? You know what I mean? That's why you see a woman like Assata Shakur, you know what I mean? She got to be respected. And like I said, she needs to be in the book of all them black leaders. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Not a Democrat, not a Republican, but some motherfuckers will kill you for what a Democrat and what a Republican put out there. You know what I mean? Real talk. You see what I'm saying? And she got it targeted because she didn't stand for that shit. She didn't stand for, none of that shit. That's like me. I'm like them. Like, what I mean? I don't, what I mean? I'm not a eradicator. I don't get into the politics. I do listen to some of what they say, they points and how they gonna get us jobs and how they gonna get us through school. But I don't think that they're my leader. I don't listen to them. I don't take them. I don't think that I'll see them on the street and stop and take a picture with them. You know what I mean? Because that's not how I feel about government. I will never, I'll pass a government like it's anybody else. I see them on TV, anybody, wherever you at. I seen Andrea Udak. She's a politician. And I talked to her, she was like she was a regular lady. I told my girl who she was, and I talked to her like if she was a regular lady. I just thought there need to be more schools and more jobs. That was my only thing. Need to be more pay attention and bring more back from school where kids we have to be kids. The job, and that's all I said to her. That was it. But I don't bow down to these people. I don't look at them as a leader. I look at them just as a regular person walking down the street. Because why I look at them as that, because they also, they could use law enforcement and come and shut down your school, shut down your party, just like what they was doing to the Shakur and them. Anything they had a party, they would get the police to, come shoot it up, throw stuff, start house fires, arsons. They did the most arsons back then. You know how much arson came from then? Why do you think there's so much white people burning so much stuff? Look what's going on in the United States of America. Look at all these businesses that are getting set on fire. You see what I'm saying? These people start these arson shit. They used to burn on, you know what I mean? As I said, we need to put this woman as in thing in a good book. You know what I mean? Real talk. She escaped the fact that they try to analyze her. Then she defend herself. You know what I mean? Then I think it's crazy how we neutralize the Black Panther family and the Shakur, but we have other gangs that are eradicated, that are breaking out. You know what I mean? Breaking out cartel members out of jail and still doing all this other stuff, coming big crime. Let them out on the street to commit more murders, then lock them up. But a person that defends herself, got shot in the back with her hands up in the back and still survived. You know what I mean? And where it is, she didn't even kill a police officer. You know what I mean? But you guys are looking for her since 1979. 1979. And she escaped y'all. Boy, I'm happy as a motherfucker. Real talk. A lot of us, as I said, right now, we don't do anything. White, black, in Puerto Rico, Mexican. We don't do nothing. And we go high, we go back to Mexico, we go back to Cuba, we go back to Puerto Rico. You know what we're going to do? We're going to turn on the camera and say a lot of dumb shit and get yourself in trouble and get them to come pick you up and bring you back and think. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what got El Chapo locked up. El Chapo was not smart like this woman right here. You see what I'm saying? Is he let the greed, the what do you call it? The money, the power, and the pussy control him. She did not let, you know what I mean? Real talk. And I guarantee she probably have her little husband over there too, but nobody gonna ever know. Because if anybody know who her husband was, they will think. And the FBI, they go to Cuba a lot, but they don't go there with nobody know who they is. They go there like they're on vacation. And I guarantee they was down there looking for her. But couldn't find her because she was probably out somewhere, you know what I mean, in like some, hills, bushes, with some chickens and some, you know what I mean, doing, or something. He said, this lady a legend. You know what I mean? Assata Shakur is a legend. Legendary woman. So I'm saying this story right here make my heart feel so good when I hear that a woman, a black woman to the exact, escape. You know what I mean? Because she know what real slavery is. A lot of us don't know what real slavery is. That's why a lot of us will take the money worship the money, worship the luxury, the Gucci, the Louis, you know what I mean, and all the other stuff, and just sit there. As I said, a lot of politicians, a lot of influencers. Hyson go right now, and something happened and he didn't do it, and they're like, oh, it's him, and they're trying to put the charges on him. This man will probably go to Cuba, turn his camera on, and try to make a funny video and say he didn't do it, and get caught. You can't do stuff like that. When you're innocent, you stay innocent. You know what I mean? You know you didn't do anything. You stay away from their gadgets. Stay away from their computers. They you know what I mean? And this is what got Osama. Bin Laden got caught because when he started playing with them computers, remember, they didn't find him until they started bringing them computers upstairs. That's when they found his ass, because he was playing with them. Then they hacked his shit. Yeah. So, the lady a legend. She is a legend. You know, she stayed away from them people. Stayed away from them. Didn't get caught. Died on her own. You know what I mean? No execution style, no poison, no what else? No no setup. Never got fall in love with no idiot that's gonna set her up. You know what I mean? She died. She was a queen all the way to the end. All the way to the end. All the way to the end, y'all. Hold on. All the way to the end. Hold on. The blood tub. Who's drilling? Who's fucking drilling, man? Who fucking works on a Saturday? Like, what the fuck? I work on a Saturday. You know what I mean? I mean, who does construction on a Saturday? Shit, it's only supposed to be restaurant day. But I'm saying, y'all, real talk, people. You know, this is a legendary lady right here. You know what I mean? Real talk. You see, the craziest thing is, I don't see none of these black women I'm talking about this girl. It's mostly the man. You see, all these girls that like to get up and turn their cameras and argue and talk about who's sucking dick and, who's fucking who and, in the YouTube streets. None of these black girls come. But I guarantee if this was a Caucasian person, all these Caucasian women would have been talking about. I'm just trying to show you. A lot of y'all black sisters lost y'all touch. I mean, real shit. Real talk. Lost y'all touch. Y'all care about, who's doing that, who's doing whatever. That's why niggas lost their interest. Real talk. A lot of y'all black girls lost y'all touch, yo. That's why niggas lost interest in y'all. Because y'all should be on this story. We want to hear how y'all feel. We want to hear how y'all, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? This should be the woman that y'all, one of the women that y'all look up to. You see what I'm saying? Real talk. This should be one of the women that y'all look up to. Real talk. You know what I mean? A soldier, a beautiful soldier that represent for us. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And escape. That's the next reason why I'm not really. I'm kind of like, like I was like, as I said, I was Trump. I was, fucking with some of the stuff Trump said. But when he said, "Oh, we gotta go to Cuba and get Assata Shakur," I said, what? I said, nah, I'm not fucking with you. As I said, I don't fuck with government. I fuck with them to an extent. I don't believe somebody should go out there and carry out do some stupid stuff because a government official said it because you don't like what they said. Go out there and don't do that. That's stupid. But I just don't like. But you got to be able to face the consequences when you are preaching these things. Because if you're saying get this and get that, that's how people are preaching hate. Real talk, yo. Real talk. I gotta say this. There's hate speech, and there was hate speech in the Democrat era, but Trump preaches a lot of like angry, real ignorant stuff, yo. Like the way he's doing Jimmy Kimmel is like, man. But whatever, that's their thing. But I don't really fuck with the government, y'all. I don't. I don't. I don't trust them. They will get Google to spy on you and turn around and help sue Google. You know what I mean? That's why there's no trust There's no trust between the human race in North America. There's no trust. Everybody's backstabbing each other. Everybody's backstabbing each other. This is why you gotta ask yourself. Women could survive. A woman could survive like this all the way in Cuba. Go finish your ice cream.
I finished it.
Okay, I'll get you something else, okay? No, I'll get you something else. I'm gonna get you some chips or something. Oh no, I got something for you. I got something for you. Come here. Got some candy. Yeah, people like that is to me is, yeah, she's been on the FBI wanted list 1979. 1979. But now it makes sense why these people keep saying, they kept saying why he wasn't, why Tupac was in Cuba, because she was in Cuba. And that's not the first time I heard that some of the Black Panther family, the wanted ones, or some of them like migrate to Cuba. It's not the first time I heard that. This is why people believe that she was in Cuba. They was in Cuba. I think that's crazy, but yeah. I think that is wild that she was down there hiding for so long. And they couldn't go there and get her. It's very, very smart. You ask me. Very, very, very smart. I gotta lie. In Cuba, that long, 2025, 1979, y'all. She been hiding. Tell me she ain't militant. Militant, yeah. Militant. And as I said, Tupac was like, was just like how people say, oh, sexy red, and when people the FBI plot, their agent. These people, the reason why they got rid of Tupac, they believe, oh, he's a Black Panther agent in the music business. You know what I mean? So listen, they had their own agents too, and that's what the FBI believe. FBI believed that the Black Panther Party was like, their agents, they black agents. You know what I mean? I don't even like calling them Black Panther. For me, I like calling them black agents because they intelligence. Hey, Jen, stop! You see me talking? Stop! Stop yelling at me! Stop yelling! Stop yelling! Don't yell at me. Yeah, but them people, they intelligence, yo. To me, they was like black agents. They was like black agents. They're as smart as the FBI and CIA. I'll tell you guys this right now. This girl, she was as smart as the FBI and as the CIA. Why I say that? People gonna be like, no, she isn't. You can't. No. Let me tell you, yes. The Black Panther Party was like fucking the black FBI of the black era. CIA of the black era. They was that smart. This is why the FBI, the US government didn't like them, because they was like agents. You see what I'm saying? They're like agents. They that smart, y'all. They that smart. You guys don't know. You guys don't know. You're just like how I'm coming. Just like how the FBI, just like how Bin Laden, and all them people was outsmarting. You think they was the first motherfucker to smart? Yo, let me show you something. The Black Panther and them was the first motherfuckers to outsmart. You know what I mean? This is why they thought Tupac wasn't dead. This is why they thought Tupac was down there too. And they, when people was like, "Oh, Tupac is alive," they was spreading the narrative that he wasn't died because they wanted to get this girl. They were saying he was in Cuba, but let me show you something. This group of people was as smart as the FBI and as the CIA agents without the technology. Without the technology. Without that fucking technology. Yeah, people. They won't tell you guys that, but these guys were smart. I mean, there was cracking shit, and the CIA agents that was, you know what I mean? There was a threat. That's why they didn't like them motherfuckers, because they was too smart. You see why? And it just shows you. Whenever you're too smart, if you're even if you're an immigrant and you're just smart and you come here and you smarter than a person that's been trying to get that position for years, and they're gonna hate on you. They're gonna probably get rid of you. They're gonna give you a reason why you shouldn't have the job and why you shouldn't work. Somebody's gonna come to them. You know what I mean? It's just like when you're a black person and you're about to get moved up, and you might have a name like Junior or John, but you're black. When they see, oh, time for John to get promoted. And John get there, they're looking at him like, what? We gonna have this nigga upstairs? Yeah. But I'm saying they don't like smart black people, yo. They don't like smart black people. A lot of smart. Here's a lot of smart. You're not fine. I mean, that's why when they tell you guys, oh, black women and black people couldn't read, that's a fucking lie. Because all them women could read. All them women are smart. They all had IQ. All had university education. So I want to know where that shit came from. You know what I mean? And if black women couldn't read in slavery, who taught who was like, we was babysitting the Caucasian people kids. Who taught them how to read? Not y'all. We did. You know what I mean? So I don't know what you guys are talking about. That's why I laugh at certain things. I laugh at certain things. I know what I know. Anybody gonna change my mind. Ain't nobody gonna bring me in with a whole bunch of smart people. And because they smart and they know this person and that, no, fuck you. You know what I mean? I know what I know. I believe in my belief. Yeah, this shit like this hurt my soul, yo. Can't lie. Not hurt myself, it bothers me. Let me back that up. It bothers me. Because when anything I see, one thing I'm gonna tell you something about Mexican women and Puerto Rican women. They got something like this going on, a legend, they talk about it. You know what I mean? I saw, what's her name? Selena. The girl I follow, she was talking about her real Puerto Rican roots. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And that's real shit. Real shit. That we need that. You know what I mean? Black women, they gotta be famous, they gotta be in a TV show, they gotta be now people like it's crazy. Y'all are fucking man. Y'all lost it, yo. Some of y'all lost it. Not gonna lie. Some of y'all lost it. So niggas don't wanna fuck with y'all no more. Niggas better be like with their one girl or their wife. Don't fuck that. You know what I mean? Not running around with girls no more. I mean, it's out of their mind. I don't rep for each other. I want to do this woman thing only when it comes to man. That's it. Only when it's fight against man. But when it comes to talk about somebody important like this, y'all will bypass it and talk about the girl and her husband and what she's going through or what y'all know. And her wife or her man, what y'all do. Sad. I mean, real talk. I'm happy I'm the person who I am. I can get up. I can talk about Tupac Shakur. I can talk about, his godmother, his mom. I can talk about that, and remind you, they have nothing to do with music. This is what they did for the community. And what she did for, like, a black culture as well. Look at she posed. She was not raising no peace sign. I mean, because what? Are we doing a peace sign? I would tell my son, don't do no peace sign in no picture. If anything happened, I don't want to put you on the news and put you on no fucking with no peace sign saying bye to the world. Like, none of that shit. You know what I mean? Fuck that. Real tough. So you don't see her doing none of that. And by the side, I don't know when we get doing that. When do we adapt to that fucking lifestyle? When do we adapt to that? You know what I mean? Stop getting these motherfuckers, stop taking photos of peace signs and shit. You know what I mean? So when they go out, the first thing the new media do is show your kid, showing a peace sign, or show your aunt or your cousin or your mom. You know what I mean? Showing a peace sign. Cut that out. Cut that out. Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. Y'all, some of y'all are not even in the agenda. Y'all follow the agenda. Y'all are not in the agenda. Don't follow the agenda, bro. You're not supposed to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you what I mean. So I was in a Puerto Rican. I was chilling my Puerto Rican / Mexican home, right? And I walked down the street. This Puerto Rican guy I always said hi to. Like he has like a I was always gotta ask him about his health, right? Because you know what I mean. I'm like that. He's an older dude, and I'm walking down to I'm walking through the a community because they chill and they talk and they in the morning they have their coffee, whatever, and they have their little croissants. And not one of them gave a peace sign to me. All high props and love and soul, whatever. Not one. Walk down. No, I'm walking. Know what I mean? Walking down. Nigga give me props, waving to me. I walk up, I see a nigga doing peace sign. I said, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Why are you piecing me out for? Are you leaving the earth? We gotta pay attention to these symbols and these things that we do. You know what I mean? That's why you don't do certain things. And back to what I was saying with Assata Shakur. She ain't never did no peace sign. She ain't never took no picture of her and said, yeah, I'm down here and doing the peace sign. Because that is a symbol to the elite or whatever, you know what I mean? That just shows you that, yo, look, I'm with y'all and you know what I mean? No, we're not a part of no group. You know what I mean? We're not a part of no group. We're human beings trying to live and work hard. We're not part of that. And I feel like y'all trying to force us to be, that's like, see it like, if you can see it, y'all force us to be a part of something that the people don't want to be. You know? It's like, that's why when people say, oh, free speech, motherfucker, free speech, this is what I'm talking about, free speech. This lady had to go hide from 1979. So what we talk about free speech and Jimmy King and and Charlie Kirk and free speech, man. That's why I said black people. A lot of you guys disappoint me, dog. Disappoint me. Can't lie. This is why a story like this will come up. Y'all disappoint me. Y'all out here fighting for free speech, and I'm like, this girl had a took off. Took off. She got shot in her back. She got shot in her back for free speech. She's the real definition of free speech. Tupac is the real definition of free speech. So when we sit here and we talk about free speech and Trump don't want to do this because of free speech and that, who was in power when she had to go run and hide? Who was in power when she had to run and go hide for all these years in Cuba? Decades, centuries. You know what I mean? I tell you, it seems like black people nowadays, they only care about free speech when it comes to white people. Rich white people. You know what I mean? Real talk. And right, you know what I'm saying? And some white Caucasian people will tell you, like, you know, black people don't really stand up for what's right no more. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. This is a big example why free speech should have been on top of our list while we were fighting. Now we want to fight free speech. Now we want to get up there and protest and say, free speech and do. Oh, but she never mattered. My bad. She got shot in her back because she was saying something that no one wanted to say. And she escaped it. You know what I mean? And them motherfuckers, when they were shooting on her, shot the police and then blame it on her. And she never did nothing. Up to this day, they still blame it on her. You know what I mean? They shoot it on her, try to escape, and then they shot the cop and try to say, whatever. Even though she did it with self-defense. You don't shoot somebody in the back with their hands up. That's what I'm saying. That's murder. Let's be honest. So we talk about free speech and all this other stuff, and man, listen, I'm not in none of that. That's why I said I don't get it. I'm not into politics, so I hate politics. It's always politics to me is always one way. Always one way. And it's always, when it comes around, it always favors one group, one race of people. Politics only favor one race or one group of people. And it's not black, not Puerto Rican, not Spanish. Not bad. They favor the Chinese people. I'm gonna say that. Favor them too. Never favor them because, I mean, I think it's crazy because, as I said, a lot of stuff. And I think it's crazy how we send the Mexicans back because they're not the one that's killing us terrorists. They're not the one that's jacking these prices on our food. But we send them back. And we know we're encouraging Canada to send them back too. But they're not the one that's coming on in here on these fake student loan visas that's making them rich for decades. You know what I mean? And we can't figure it out. They're not the one that's doing that. Matter of fact, they come in here and they get started from the bottom. They're not getting no fake student loan visa to come in here. You know what I mean? The Mexicans are not doing that. Puerto Ricans are not doing that either. Not doing that. Like I said, y'all. These are one of the most smartest people. I'm gonna tell you why. It goes back, right? I'm gonna show you why. I'm gonna tell you why the Black Panther was as smart as the FBI, even smarter than the CIA, because Trump said it himself, right back in the 90s. Smart. You know what a problem is in America? You know what the trouble is in America? A smart black man with an education. Yes. Yes. Remember, he said that. He said that. He said that. The threat in America is a smart black person with an education. And he was talking about the Black Panther. I mean, they is smarter than everybody. Smart as hell. Legend, boy. Legend. Gosh, upon the heat is on. I don't know why the fucking people have the heat on. Yeah, smartest motherfuckers will come across. It's on. Yeah. Yeah, yo, that people. Y'all don't believe that? That's why I always say, yo, I always fall for the smart ones. As I said, my Miss TMG, education IQ. My baby mom before Miss TMG. Education high. I don't go for the dum-dums. I don't go for the girl in the short shit. Your education is not like, that get somewhere and no. Like not everybody could be a street nigga. And as you can see, that street shit don't last forever. They control that shit. They take it over. They give it to the other people. The street level is still good, but they give it to them. They give it to the mafia. They let them. They favor them. They favor them. You know what I mean? Because the Italians will tell you down here. You know what I mean? The police work with the bikers everywhere, everywhere across the world. They favor them. They favor them. You know what I mean? They like, you know what I mean? But and if you look at them in a way, they as smart as the Black Panther because they have government ties, but the Black Panther never had a government tie. Yo, listen, they know who they want. You know what I mean? As I said, the bikers is like they cowboys. So they okay with that. You know what I mean? As long as they got their cowboys, they good. You know what I'm saying? They don't want nobody to. You know what I mean? They favorite. We ain't never gonna win. And she's telling we ain't never gonna win. That's why she went in Cuba. And you allow certain people to get away with certain things. You know what I mean? They said, oh, the black people have been selling drugs in their community. But who's giving it to them? You know what I mean? Who's giving it to them? You think black person just go out and just run around a whole bunch of, who's giving it to them? Like, come on. Who's giving them these guns? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. There's a petition right now going on. Right now. People are telling Americans to stop selling guns to the poor country. Stop selling guns. Stop selling the U.S. guns to the poor country. You know what I mean? Because they can't handle that shit. Too much. People talk about free speech. My God. That's why I always listen. I always sit back and listen to what people talk about. Because if we're really going to fight about free speech, we can't fight other people's free speech and don't fight our own free speech. Or we can't just argue over other people's shit, but we never stand up and battle our own. Like, you know what I mean? We never battle our own people. We never stand up and fight with them, but we're going to fight with other people? For what? Stupid. Stupid, bro. Stupid. I don't do none of that. None of that. Like I said, she's smart. You know what I mean? She's smart. And she's smart now. She died a smart lady. And she was, always an intelligent lady because, a smart lady will stay off social media. Don't get into it. Don't make no videos. Don't do anything. A lot of people, and they can't do that. They gotta make the videos. They gotta, come out every day. You see how they do it on here? A lot of these people, and they're not militant. They can't really stay away from certain, if they're on the run, and they will let these people set traps to pull them in. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, yo. For real, that's Machiavelli. Listen. Hey, I swear to you, that's Machiavelli, yo. Hey, you ain't lying, Tom business. You not lying, bro. You know what? I'm happy that you put me on game. I'm happy you brought it. That's Machiavelli right there, boy. Come on. You know what I mean? Come on, yo. Yo, 1979. You see what I'm saying? All them stuff that we got, all them new gadgets that's why I said you gotta watch out what they put out there and give you to put out on, you know what I mean? Like they be like, we got this phone, we got this time. No, because they're trying to catch some people. That's why they have all these new gadgets. Hopefully that they'll use them and catch them. But you know what I mean? I guarantee you she ain't never used an iPhone in her life. I guarantee you she ain't never used a Samsung phone in her life. You know what I mean? I guarantee she was on them flip phones. And you know what I mean? She probably died with a phone, using a phone with an antenna. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Real talk. As I said, none of them Black Panther women was ugly. I've seen all the stories. Not one of them was ugly. They was all in shape. They was all moving. All in shape. If you see how they look back in the day, they were beautiful, all in shape, eat good, healthy. You know what I mean? Healthy food. They never eat none of that. You know what I mean? If you seen like as I said, even in the, you could tell. Like, you know what I mean? Like smart woman, yo. Like I said, we had smart women. When they lied to us and said, oh, do, try to make it look. Now, our woman, I think our woman is way smarter than them. Way smart. Without the, you know what I mean? Remember, they needed to pay informants to find out what was going on with everybody else. We didn't need to do none of that. You know what I mean? That's always smart. Remember, Trump said the most dangerous thing in America is a smart Black man with education before he got in power. Before you could look that up. Look it up. Look it up. And this is when he was with Mike Tyson, and then he said that. Don King and that. And he was doing the whole boxing shit. You know what I mean? He was a big part of that. Why do you think Trump is a big part of UFC? Because UFC owned boxing. You see what I'm saying? They own boxing. That's how the boxing shit so went down, because they partially own a part of boxing. That's why you see everything that has to do with boxing now. You see the UFC, Dana White in the background talking. Why? Because if you go back, watch a fight with Don King. Most of the fights that Mike Tyson and them was promoting back in the days. You know what I mean? Don King was talking about who was in the back. Go look it up. Trump. You see what I'm saying? What's up? Made a lot of money. A lot of money with dumb niggas. But if you was smart, you wouldn't fuck with you. Real shit. Made a lot of smart money with dumb motherfuckers. But if you know what I mean? As I said, you go look at all the boxers. Trump manipulated that. He made money off of Tyson. Who was it? This other dude. But some other dude. This African dude that turned went crazy. As I said, all the people that Trump had, after a while they went down the drain. They was all stupid. They was not, the education hierarchy was not, you know what I mean, as good as his. You couldn't be as smart as him. So, but yeah, she is a legend. She is a smart woman. And she is one of them women that I think black people should be like, all right, you know what I mean? This girl here, you know, and even when she think her photos, she died like she looked good for her age when she died, yo. You know what I'm saying? Different atmosphere, yo. Different. It's a different what do you call it? Habitat, climate, different climate. You know, tell you go somewhere else, you survive better in the climate. And you know, certain places you go, you survive. But she wasn't gonna do is try to get no treatment or just like Bob Marley's like, yo, I'm gonna go. I don't need no doctors to look me up. It's my time to my time. You know what I mean? I said some shit, and if I go elsewhere, they go probably, you know what I mean? Yeah, so she would tell you, tell you, man, tell you about this. We talk about free speech, yo. Remember we talk about free speech and all that stuff. Just remember about people like this, people like her, gotta run and go hide. You know what I mean? Run and go hide because of what she was saying, and she almost got analyzed. You know what I mean? Shot in the back with her hands up, shot in her back with her hands up. Shot in her back with her hands up. Yeah, they're talking. Shot in her back with her hands up, bro. So, yeah. I hope Tupac, man, if Tupac is down there, if, alleged, if, if Tupac is down there all these years and never said nothing, then we know why. We know why. We know why. Yeah, people, we know why. If he's down there all these years and never said nothing, you know why. That's like what Tom Business said. That's like Machiavelli shit. You know, Machiavelli shit. Smart. Smart. Only the government thinks like that. See, the government don't like when black people think like that. Smart. You know what I mean? Smart. Smart. 'Cause they know. She knew. Like the reason why they broke her out of jail because they knew. You know what I mean? That they wasn't gonna do this girl wrong. She was probably gonna end up dying there anyway. And if you don't want to die, you know what I mean, as a black sheep or you know, fuck somebody that is gonna die for nothing. Yeah, you got to get yourself out of there. And if you're gonna if you want to live, you gotta leave. You can't just be like, oh my God, I gotta go back to America. I miss this, I miss that, I miss the life, I miss the McDonald's, I miss the burgers, I miss the, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Really, you know, if you really like, I don't know. Like I said, she though, a legend, legend. And we don't respect our our black legends or leaders no more, and we do. I mean, shit, we do. If we ain't trying to see what this is, if we are here, that's why I said we are here listening to people saying this and that. It's not what it is. A lot of these stories are not what they seem. A lot of lies, a lot of manipulation. You call this girl a fugitive. And when she was out there, and even I'm just trying to figure out if she did all the murder racket, murder charges and all that. Why did y'all acquit her back in the day? Imagine black people getting acquitted on murder charges and all this other stuff, bombing and whatever you guys said she did. You know, why did she get acquitted? So I think maybe somebody. I think a lot of white people help out the Black Panther Party because for a jailbreak, you are a jail guard. They got to be a white person to help you out in the system. That non-black person gonna help pull that off. Pull unless you're in an all-black jail or all Mexican jail like El Chapo. You're not gonna get out like that. Some Caucasian person probably thought it was bullshit. Just like today, and let her up. That shit is wild. That shit is wild. I ain't gonna lie to you. Legend, Assata Shakur. Her real name was Joanna, something like that. I think she was mixed. I think she might have a her name sound like might be Puerto Rican or something like that. Or she has some type of Spanish name. And this just shows you, that us Spanish people, us black people and Spanish people, you know what I mean? I don't know why we do out here, or how some of us say each other like that and so racist against each other. But this shows you right here that we are supposed to be sticking together. Because she has a Spanish last name. Sure, she has a Shakur name, but that's not her real name. She has a Spanish last name. That means she was speaking Spanish. Hello. Just saying, I don't know why some of us are racist against us, racist against each other, but she has a Spanish last name. Perez or something like that. Joanna Perez or something like that. But she has a Spanish last name. That means I was speaking, she's speaking Spanish or something. What does that show you? That not only black people, I was in the Black Panther Party. That's Spanish people and Puerto Rican people. But this lady here speaks Spanish. She speaks Spanish. You know what I mean? So we're not just gonna sit there and acting like, oh, it's only black people. And we got dark Spanish people, dark, Cuban people. I was in the party too. Not only black Americans and Africans Americans and African people. You had dark Spanish people, dark Cuban people. I was in the party too, and I believe that. I believe that. I believe that it was, I believe that. I don't believe it was only black people. I was in this Black Panther Party. I believe there was, Cuban and Puerto Rican women. I was involved in this Black Panther party thing too. I don't believe it was just pure black women and black men. That's why as I said, certain stuff can be, a lot of stuff it can't be put out there like that. Everybody could put their story. Some people go there and say, "Oh, I did this, and I was this." A farmer KKK member could still get a job and go to work every day and go home to their family because they whatever they said a farmer KKK member, right? That don't even sound that sounds stupid as hell, But if we got somebody that was a farmer Black Panther, this and that, you got to watch them. You got to make sure you treat them bad every time you see them in public. You give they can't. You give them a hard time when it's time for them to get a permit, open up a business, doing a building. But you can have a farmer KKK member open up a building and open up a house, and you guys wonder why they turn against y'all because we ain't open. I don't see nobody doing nothing that the Black Panther was doing to go against the government, you know. And the same stuff that the Black Panther was doing against the government, it's the same thing. I see this, it's the same thing I see this white extremists doing, saying and talking like, using these words are not you guys' words. They come from the stuff that you guys are doing are Black Panther stuff. You guys went from white masses to black this and black that. Y'all got it from the Black Panther Party, Martin Luther kicked X in them. That's why I said you guys are fighting against each other. You guys are not even really having a problem with us. And you guys, to make you feel more comfortable, to make you guys feel better, you guys throw the immigration in it because you guys know the beef is not with the black people anymore. You know what I mean? So you guys, or you guys don't go after us. You guys go after our black females. You know what I mean? But you couldn't catch this one right here. Could not catch her. She promising, smart, intelligent, as I said. Same, you're looking at a woman at your screen that has the same intelligence as the FBI and the CIA. A lot of people probably be mad at me when I said that, but it's the truth. And you go back and look at what Trump was saying. You got to catch these people because the smartest people in America, it's dangerous people, it's people like them, those with education. And she was talking about that woman right there that run away in Cuba. Real talk. It's smart. You know what I mean? Smart. That's all, and that's what Bin Laden, he was smart. They thought he was a dummy. I mean, because he couldn't speak English, but he was smart. And you know what I mean? And he kind of like, he only did it to them because they did it to him. And he found out they was robbing them. They're like, well, he thought they don't think I'm smart. They think I'm stupid. You see what I'm saying? Real talk, people. Real talk. So, I don't know. I don't know, but just a very intelligent woman right here. Her IQ is very, very, and very intelligent. We need more smart people like, a smart woman like her around. A smart woman like her, a lot more. People around are not really smart like how they used to be like that. They're not really, they make everything get to them. They make everything and manipulate them. They're scared of it. They're scared of everything. scared to speak their mind. They don't talk upon you, try to talk against you. Motherfuckers don't even talk about if somebody got beat up in their church. You know what I mean? Somebody come up there and shoot up a whole bunch of church people. They won't even talk about it. But they'll get on and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. We need women like her back. People like Tupac. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Back around. Just say whatever they want and those don't give a fuck. Because it seems like there's more people, you know what I mean, that are just saying, you know, whatever they want ever since the Charlie Kirk death. They don't give a fuck. And I'm like, damn. I remember when Tupac and Malcolm X was talking like that. You know. As I said, but I guess, you know, it doesn't matter what color you is, you just can't go around saying certain things. That's why people gotta understand. I think that's why most a lot of people don't believe that, yo, yeah, we are not the threat. You know, we are not the threat. So there's a lot of us believe that we have privilege and find out that, yeah, y'all have privilege, but y'all don't have the privilege like y'all used to have it. It ain't, you know what I mean? They ain't giving it to y'all no more. Because then y'all give it to the wrong people and they be like, nah. So they some of y'all still got it. Some of y'all don't got it no more. Y'all be giving it to the wrong people. That's them. That's how they think. That's how they think. Y'all giving it to the wrong people. Yeah, I'm gonna replay this. What I said about the lady here real quick before I get out of here. Gonna do a 2 hour and then I'm gonna jump on later and do a live, a regular live. Back on my little thingy. Gonna get my own point. When I get my own point, it's kind of better. It's kind of better. So let's get into this. Let me bring this up of what they were saying about, you know, this beautiful young legend. What they say? Right here. Legend. They try to say this girl was. Yo, these people I'm here, man. Listen. You gotta watch out for these people. If you're in Canada and have over. Listen up. We gotta watch out for these people and we gotta hear them too.
After escaping prison in 1979, Shakur fled to Havana, where she received political asylum from Fidel Castro. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, joins us. For decades, Shakur was sought after, the FBI even increasing her capture reward to $2 million. Break down what we know tonight.
So Shakur was a Black Liberation Army member who was convicted.
So that means she got, you know, political support from Fidel Castro. What does that show you? Was she working with them? Or was Fidel Castro? Because if you notice, the Black Panther members, their hat and everything, they dress like Fidel Castro. They just, like, am I lying? Their hats, their jackets, everything is like Fidel Castro. This is what I'm saying. So, was Fidel Castro the real leader of the Black Panther Party? I don't know. Allegedly. I'm just saying this, you know, but I'm just saying, was they spies? Was they kind of like, did America think they were spies for the Fidel Castro, but didn't want to say anything?
For her role in a 1973 shootout that killed a New Jersey state trooper. After escaping prison years later, she resurfaced in Cuba in 19...
That's a lie. They were shooting at her and they accidentally, they shot her in the back because they're not telling you guys that. She pulled over, put her hands up, and then she turned around, they shot her in the back, and then she escaped, and then she started shooting out the police. Okay? So that was self-defense. These motherfuckers they're just on here lying to you.
1984, eventually receiving political asylum. The Cuban Foreign Ministry announcing Friday, Assata Shakur, also known as Joanne Chesimard, died at the age of 78 from health conditions. The National Police Association's Betsy Brantner-Smith telling us she should have been back in the U.S. a long time ago.
Why wasn't there more done to get this woman back into custody?
A member of the Black Liberation Army, which the FBI describes as, quote, one of the most violent militant organizations of the 1970s, Chesimard was convicted in 1977 of murdering New Jersey State Trooper Warner Forster.
I guess his family can have a measure of peace now, but they never really did get justice.
In 1979, she escaped from prison before resurfacing in Cuba in 1984, where then Cuban leader Fidel Castro awarded her political asylum. Speaking with NBC News in 1998, Chesimard proclaiming her innocence.
Did you shoot Warner Foster?
No, I did not. I was shot with my arms in the air.
In 2013, the FBI made Chesimard the first woman on its most wanted terrorists list, the reward for her capture growing to $2 million. During his first term, President Trump demanding Cuba return her to the U.S.
Including the return of the cop killer, Joanne Chesimard.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy and State Police Super.
All right. So all y'all Trump fans that are out there that are saying, oh, free speech and that. No, this nigga don't. Like, come on, yeah. This nigga don't believe. This nigga believe that we should be dumb and we should jump to all the cash and we should get paid whatever we want. We take or we get something to take. Like, look what he did with things. Look what he did with Mike Tyson. As I said, Trump made so much money off Mike Tyson. It's ridiculous. I mean, and Mike Tyson wanted to give up. They paid that. He made that girl. He made that one black girl put a rape charge on Tyson. Real shit. Real talk. Real talk. A lot of people don't say nothing. Why do you think there's no evidence or nothing came up? That girl that never came back up. You know what I mean? Real talk. Real shit, yo. They did that. So whatever is happening to him right now with all the scandals, I hate to say it, but some of it's karma. Yeah. Some of it's karma, yo. Real talk. Y'all try to get the girl, yo.
Superintendent Colonel Pat Callahan releasing a joint statement Friday reacting to her death, writing in part, quote, for years we worked to bring Chesimard back to face justice, but sadly she's passed away without being held fully accountable for her heinous crimes. Now, back in March, Senators Rick Scott and Ted Cruz introduced legislation demanding the extradition of fugitives harbored in Cuba back to the United States. It's since been referred to the Committee on Foreign Relations.
Yeah. So even though the woman's dead, even though she's dead, they mad. Even though she's dead, they mad, yo. Tell me, like, this is for a wicked girl, wicked. Imagine though, she got her hands up and she got shot in the back, and she still can't. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. You know, y'all, these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers is. As I said, I leave these motherfuckers alone. Yeah, I don't listen to them. I don't support them. None of that, because they don't do nothing for me. All my people, they never do nothing for me. Never did nothing for nobody. Yeah. Yeah, yo, you gotta believe, yo, Riaz. They mad at her. They mad at Cuba because she died down there. And she ain't never got, they never send it back up here. They mad at her. They mad. They mad that she died. Oh, what did you face their actions? What do you like? The people are so evil. So evil, bro. So evil. So evil. But people don't stand up like that no more, man. like I said, stuff like this happen. We should be, we should be on the internet, like, all over it. But people that talk about certain things, pay attention to certain things. I can't do all that. But you hear what they said about her. You didn't hear what they said about she killed a unknown police officer. And then Trump got in power. He wanted to go for her. I wonder what happened. I wonder what happened to change her heart this time. Died of natural cause. They're mad. Mad. That's why they allow you. That's why they allow certain things and get people to make it on the internet. When you start, women start acting smart, they gonna be like, "Yo, what's this girl on here doing, acting like she's smart at some type of." You know what I mean? I remember one time, a police pulled me over, and I'm like, I was just giving them the business. Oh, who taught you to be a shut the fuck up? Who gave you a lawyer degree? Like, you know what I mean? Just like because I'm telling them the rights. Like I said, I already know. I already know these guys think. You could be on their side. You could talk and whatever, vote for them, jump and debate for them. But nigga, if you out there and you might help them win, but trust me, the police, when they do certain things to certain racist people, get a chance to be racist, they get to use their privilege or certain things. They don't give a fuck if you voted, if you're a black man that voted for that white man. They don't care. That's one thing I know. They don't care. If you say, "Oh well, I support this person," but like, well, so you just help us out. That's what they'll tell you. They'll help us out. How much time you go on TV and you see these girls? Oh, I don't want to talk to you because of your skin color. They're telling these black bloggers. These motherfuckers are still walking around. Oh, let me go to the next one. I'm done. I'm done. All dum-dums. Assata Shakur, man, a legend. You know what I mean? That said, that woman, he looked like she could teach us something that, you know what I mean, that I'll make us, make us feel good about ourselves, like make us look at life different. They don't want women like this in America. They'll change it. They'll change the way of black. You know what I mean? They want you to think Oprah and them is the smartest woman in America. Michelle Obama and them is the smartest black woman in America. Kiss my ass. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. It's true though. You know what? I'm gonna go back to Utah business. You're right. I think when Tupac was talking about Machiavelli, he was talking about her, Assata Shakur. He was talking about her. He was talking about her. She's a real Machiavelli though. Maybe right now she's gonna be like, act like she dead, but she's not dead. These motherfuckers won't give up. They won't give up. Can you imagine if we have a group of people that's going around that say, we gonna make a group. I'm gonna look for all the KKKs that hang out with their kids, our ancestors' kids, and raped our ancestors' kids and all that shit, and we gonna find them. No, we can't. That's never gonna happen. But y'all are mad because she died. Y'all should be happy. I'm mad that because she couldn't come back in America to make y'all, y'all, what do you call it? Make money off her with y'all fucking fake ass media show. Circus clown circus fucking TV that you guys have in North America. Long live a legend, dog. Long live a legend and a queen. You know what I'm saying? Long live a legend and a queen. You know what I mean? Real shit. A lot of these black females that come out of hiding for the Gucci belt, the Louis bag, the Chanel purse, come out of hiding for that. You know what I mean? Give up their freedom. You know what I mean? For some clout, social media clout and views. Long live a legend. Assata Shakur, long live the legend to this lady right. You know what I'm saying? If you a black woman that make Trump mad, you know what I mean, then yeah. Real talk. Real talk. He came in power like mad at her. Mad. Look how long that was. 1979. I don't respect these pussy ones. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't put them on, never put them in mind. You know what I mean? I tell you, these crazy. You can't be fighting for these niggas, yo. And then they want to lock us up. Lock up the woman. Lock up a black woman that stand up against racism and police officers killing people. Real talk. And as I said, somebody got to help her out. How does a black woman get out? And as I said, she looked like she was mixed with Spanish or Cuban or something like that. Something like that shit. You know what I mean? How does a black woman escape that at that time out of jail? How did she escape all that? In 1979, a black woman is escaping. That means somebody must have believed her that she never did anything. Somebody must have believed that she was innocent. Somebody must have believed that she was innocent. That's all I gotta say. Because she, a woman, she gotta have some help, some, white person to help her out, get out of that, and give the Black Panther some details of how, her court dates and how they escaped that day. That I don't get pure. I get, they helped her out with it. Somebody helped her out behind the scene. I'm gonna see you on the next one, y'all. Shout out to the Shakurs, and yeah, for being shout out to the godmother of Tupac. To be a real woman and kept herself out of the light, out of the public eye for so many years. Years. Go ahead. You know what I mean? For not. I can't reach it, Mom. Dad? Okay, give me a sec. I can't reach the purple one. Okay, I'm gonna get it for you. But I'm gonna see you on the next one, y'all. Like, comment, share, subscribe, them out. Shout out to y'all.